For me, it's really interesting to see. I've attended several NASSCOMs, and to see it grow the way it has grown is just phenomenal. And the startup ecosystem over here is starting to mature, and it's starting to get to a point where it's going to make a material difference to anyone who's selling products like ours. So in our case, I mean, we decided to do a launch, an India launch of a product at NASSCOM, and that's very meaningful for us, primarily because the number of startups that are there and the kind of maturity that they're showing in terms of being able to use product like ours is phenomenal. So I think what the most important thing for a startup are the kind of team that they have, and I think it's very important to see that the fire in the belly is there. You can't do much of a startup unless you have the guts to actually go all the way, right? And I think what I'm seeing as a difference over here, and which is very, very unique for India, and because India can be a fairly jugadu type of environment, but in this case I'm seeing a very dramatic difference and change in the way startups are thinking. Startups are looking at how can we do better than the most competitive counterpart, which is in the US, right? And so the one way to do better over here is to provide fantastic support for the products that you launch. And what a great situation to be in, because as a startup, one thing that you can afford is the salaries over here in India. And if you can match up with some of your competitors out there in the US, where they have to their support staff is limited. If you can really provide phenomenal support, quality support, you can make a meaningful difference in terms of your go-to-market and being able to get traction very quickly and very fast. So I think the number one challenge is that if you are a product that is trying to go global, then the credibility issue certainly comes into play. And one of the things that is an easy thing to do is to set up the company in the US right from the beginning. And in fact, I did a session yesterday along with a panel with Anil Advani, who's a US law firm running a law firm called Inventus Law. And I think we had phenomenal sort of crowd over there asking all the right questions. I mean, what should I do? My market's global. Should I set it up in India or should I set it up in the US? So from that standpoint, setting up in the US makes a lot of sense. You have credibility, first of all. The IP protection laws are much better over there, and it's a lot easier to convince your customers who will want those IP protections to be there. It is also very much around universities like Stanford and Berkeley, for example, at least the Bay Area. So you have great resources over there, and yet if you're disciplined enough in your process that most of the cost is all out of India, and you're doing your go-to-market and spending the monies on the go-to-market side in the US, then you're the best of both worlds. I think it's fantastic. I wish, this is my fourth startup, and I wish my first, second and third startup had a NASSCOM around that was so vibrant. It's a phenomenal platform to be in, and it's great that it's evolved like this. My current software is a company called Zapty, which is a collaboration platform, and I'm just seeing the kind of traction that I'm seeing over here is kind of unfounded, and which is great for all of us. The one thing that potentially could be different about NASSCOM is, we are an IT show, right? And one of the difficulties over here is there's no internet. So I wish there was possibility of hooking on to wireless, etc. It is there, but it just doesn't work. So my key message is that today, trust me on this, things have gotten a lot easier, but on the same hand, it is also a lot more competitive. So you have to have the gumption of doing a startup, and once you have it, you have to dream and you have to make it big. And there's only one way track, then you can't fall back on it, and that's the key thing. I think the overall experience was fantastic. I think the organizing committee has been very receptive to our needs and very quick to sort of get back, which is, I'm very surprised. There's 2,500 people, I was told, this time, and to still be able to manage the entire thing in such a seamless way is kudos to NASSCOM.